everyone. I'm Mary Alice Hudson, and I teach design at Snipes Academy of Arts and Design in Wilmington. I started out as an EC teacher and was an elementary school librarian for many years until a year ago when I was offered the opportunity to create a program intended to expose students to innovative ed tech and STEM opportunities. There was definitely a learning curve, but I'm looking forward to the upcoming year and the opportunity to grow and improve my program. I have recently completed a doctoral degree in educational technology. My professional goal is to positively impact K-12 public education through the integration of educational technology into the classroom. In keeping with this goal, I present a lot of PD to my colleagues, and I hope to have the opportunity to work with pre-service teachers. I believe this course is a step in improving my ability to do so effectively. My goals for the course are to fully understand the concept of applied learning, to learn strategies for teaching adult learners, and to network and work collaboratively with my classmates. As I started to synthesize the readings, I found myself in a catch-22, which I believe is similar to the catch-22 faced by higher education. In the simplest version of my dilemma, I believe, the mission of higher education is to advance knowledge. So, higher education should teach students who then go out into the world and solve problems. To do this effectively, professors should teach. But research is what advances a field, so professors should research. But professors who research don't have time to teach. A professor can't do it all, and when faced with the decision, many understandably decide to focus on what benefits their careers, which is research and publication, which is valuable to their field but not directly to their students, which goes back to the question of what is the mission of higher education. So, what is the mission of higher education? Is it to advance knowledge through research or through teaching? And if it's both, how can this be accomplished? In 1990, Boyer addressed this dilemma in two different ways. He suggested a professor's work should be viewed as having four separate but equally valuable overlapping functions: discovery, integration, application, and teaching, and that institutions of higher education shouldn't emulate each other, but each should establish and follow their own mission. Both of these have the potential to diversify higher education. By viewing scholarship as four intersecting functions and valuing all four, professors can take on different roles at different points in their careers. And by diversifying institutional missions, the needs of students and the growth of academic fields can both be met. As straightforward and reasonable as this sounds, there are additional factors, questions, and roadblocks, such as who and what is rewarded, how do professors become teachers, who pays the salaries of professors who aren't teaching, and should higher education work to benefit society? So, who and what is rewarded? If teaching is valued, it must be rewarded. Publish or perish can't be the norm. For as Boyer writes, the pressure to publish reduces the quality of teaching. So, how do professors become teachers? Having always been a student in a university's College of Education, I must admit that I really hadn't thought about the fact that many professors are not trained as teachers. Boyer writes, "It's our conviction that if scholarship is to be redefined, graduate study must be broadened, encompassing not only research, but integration, application, and teaching too." Kern and colleagues make a case for the scholarship of teaching and learning, which includes all of Boyer's forms of scholarship, as a way for professors to research their teaching and use the results of their research to advance their teaching practices, and then publish those results so that others can benefit as well. I see the value of promoting the scholarship of teaching and learning because it has the potential to remedy the lack of education training in higher education fields, encouraging faculty to evaluate their own methods, analyze student outcomes, and share their findings. But who pays for the sorry about that. Who pays for the salaries of professors who aren't teaching? Should the cost of non-classroom activities be borne by students? In the posthumously published Scholarship of Engagement, Boyer wrote of higher education being a private benefit rather than a public good, with the overall work of the university not seeming particularly relevant to the nation's most pressing problems. And because it's a private benefit, students pay the bill. But he also writes, not long ago it was generally assumed that higher education was an investment in the future of the nation, that the intellect of the nation was something too valuable to lose, and that we needed to invest in the future through the knowledge industry. So, my final question is, who should benefit? Should society benefit? Boyer writes, higher education's vision must be widened if the nation is to be rescued from problems that threaten to diminish permanently the quality of life. But is this the responsibility of higher education? And if not, whose responsibility is it? Boyer writes of his time in Washington saying, rarely were scholars invited to contribute to social, economic, and civic debates. which were instead primarily attended by politicians and pundits. I believe this is a real problem in our society today. People only want to hear their own views. This is a topic I will have to give additional thought. Can universities help solve society's problems? For your rights, I'm convinced that in the century ahead, higher education in this country has an urgent obligation to become more vigorously engaged in the issues of today. He viewed the most pressing issues to be the plight of children and the decay of cities, but he believed higher education can help put our cities and perhaps our nation back together. I'd like to believe this is true. This is a lot to think about, but I definitely believe all of these questions and issues are relevant today. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your feedback.